aka Saabythesimmer. Welcome back. Welcome if you are new. So we're back with another speed build today. I thought this would be a really short one because it's a small house, but no, I'm so slow at building. It's still a 30-minute speed build, nearly 35 minutes I think. But I was asked, this was quite a while ago actually, I think 2 months ago. I had a comment that said I would love to see you build a tiny home, like a micro home in your style, and I was overthinking it so much. I was like, what is my style? How do I build a tiny home in my style? I don't know what my style is. I was just overthinking it way too much. And then I saw like some clip of a video on YouTube, and I will leave the link for it down in the description because I can't actually remember what it was called, but it was like a small home, and I saw it and I was like, oh, I like the way this house looks, let me try and create it in The Sims. So that's what I did. I kind of used it as, well, pretty much used it as inspiration for this build. I decided to go for a small home. So if you can see, as I was building this, I've also like slowed down the footage as well, so that's what makes it slightly bit longer. I just felt like me whizzing around in such a small space just didn't make sense, and when I was watching it back I was like, this is just too much for me. So I can only imagine it's going to be disorientating for you guys to watch. So I slowed the footage down slightly, so instead of like 8 times speed I've done like 4 times speed I think it was, so it's slightly slower than my usual speed builds, but I think it's probably easier to watch that way and you can see exactly what I was doing. But yeah, anyway, moving on to the build. So a tiny home, micro home. I don't often build like tiny homes or micro homes very often, and if I build small homes I don't normally use the kind of like tiny home settings and things. So if you're new to The Sims or if you're unaware, the tiny stuff pack, the tiny living stuff pack comes with build by items, comes with create some items, it comes with loads of great things, and it also comes with the functionality of building tiny micro homes and small homes, and you get like benefits to those homes. Certain sizes of homes give you certain boosts with relationships, skills, and other things. I'm pretty sure there's other things it gives you boosts for as well. So basically it's like a cheat. It's like an in-game cheat without you having to put any cheats in. You're gonna get like loads of benefits really quick. I don't think it's really a cheat, but I think if you're doing a challenge where you start with nothing, this, like having a tiny home with the tiny home settings, you're gonna make money real quick because you're gonna like skill up really quick, which means you get promoted really quick. Or if you're like freelancing, your skills will go up. Like, yeah, I just think you'll have better benefits. So as you can see, when I was building this, I wasn't actually thinking about the fact that it was meant to be a tiny home. So I put the setting on and then was building away, and then it's only like a little bit later I realized that it being red on the top means I've gone over the tiles. So I didn't quite remember that it had to be a certain amount of tiles until a little bit later. So there's the tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. So tier 1 is a micro home, which I can't remember, I think it might be 30 tiles, I think 32 tiles. And then there's tier 2, which is a tiny home, and I think that's 60 tiles, I think, I can't actually remember. And then what I've got is a small home, which I believe is 100 tiles or 94 tiles. I can't see because my screen, it's really small on my screen, so I can't really tell what it is. But, oh no, wait, I've taken a screenshot of it so I remember. Micro home is 32 tiles, tiny home is 64 tiles, and then a small home is 100 tiles. So I've built a small home. A micro home and a tiny home would be another challenge in itself. I'll do that another time. Because building this by itself, I was just like, oh, this is fine, I can do this. But then I thought, imagine if I had to do this smaller. Like this smaller, it just would have honestly thrown me off. So I went with a small home. We'll do a tiny home, micro home next time. I guess we'll just like gradually work our way for the tiers backwards. So we'll do like a small home, no, tiny home next. Is it tiny home? And then it's micro home? Yeah, tiny home, then micro home. We'll do it that way. So I was really overthinking like, what's my style? What can I do? But then I decided to pull out the Dream Home Decorator counters, and I've never used, I don't think I actually have, but I don't think I've used this blue and like orangey swatch before, and I was really tempted to use like the orange swatches of the new items that we got with the Grown Together pack. So I really tried to make the orange fridge and orange cooker work, but as I was building I was like, yeah, it's not working, it's not doing what I think it should be doing. So I decided to switch it up and then go in with some different fridge, like I was gonna say what was the word, appliances, that's it. I was gonna say fridge and cooker, but it doesn't make sense when I say it like that. But yeah, appliances. So I was going to go with some different appliances. I'm trying to remember which ones I used. I don't know if I used the Dream Home Decorator ones or Cool Kitchen. I can't actually remember, but it'll come to me as I come to see it on the screen. But yeah, I decided to go with this blue and orange theme throughout the house pretty much, except from the bedroom. I think the bedroom is kind of just blue. Bedroom looks really neutral compared to the rest of the house where it's a bit more colourful. And then the bathroom as well is quite monochromatic. I think I just went for like black tones, I think. I bought this a few weeks ago, so I'm trying to remember what I actually did with this. And then raised up a few items into the little cupboards in the kitchen because I didn't want the two cabinets next to each other to be exactly the same, because they are the same cabinets, but I didn't want them to look exactly the same, so I just thought raise some items up into there and like hide the fact that it's the same cabinet. I can't remember all the packs I used. I'm pretty sure I used quite a range of different packs. Like, I think going into it, I think I probably thought I'd probably do a limited pack, but then I never actually stuck to that. I just know I used a lot of the new pack, Grown Together, High School Years, and Dream Home Decorator. I think that's the ones I used mainly. I think any extras were probably just like extra details on other packs, but yeah, I think that's what I went for. So the kitchen was like this blue and orange theme, and then I thought it only made sense to carry that through to the living room, so I used like the blue couch from High School Years, like the smaller one, and then I used the bookcase from Growing Together. I think I used the Get Famous like console table for the TV. But yeah, it's not a super tiny home. It's not. I feel like it works really well, and it's just cute. It's just handy. It's a good size home. And the kind of people I had in mind, or this, I always say people, the Sims I had in mind for this house was, I thought it might be two Sims, probably one creative Sim, one kind of like academic Sim. And the academic Sim, I thought it was a couple, by the way. So the academic Sim, I thought were like working away from home. They had to like go out of town to work, and they wasn't home very often basically. And I thought the creative Sim was at home a lot more, just due to their career. So what I had in mind is, I ended up putting up the puppy, or like the dog calendar in the house. I can't remember if I put it in the bedroom or if the living room. I put it somewhere in the house. And I wanted to allude to the idea of like, the creative Sim keeps hinting at the fact that they should get a puppy, but I would say the academic Sim is very much put together. Like, they don't want the house to be messy. They like everything to be a certain way, but because I'm not here often, the creative Sim is kind of just left at home alone most of the time. So I kind of felt like the like academic Sim might just give in and be like, yeah, fine, get a puppy because I'm barely here anyway. So yeah, I just thought I'd hint to that, but there's no like dog balls or anything like that, but I think they would adopt the puppy. I just thought it would be a cute idea. So yeah, I kind of had like conflicting careers, and not necessarily interests, but I think careers and like what the Sims, the couple, are doing. And I think that kind of reflected a little bit into why the house looks the way it does. So I feel like the more creative Sim had a big impact on what the house looked like because they were there more, whereas the Sim that kind of had to travel a lot more for work wasn't really around, so just was like, yeah, that's fine. What you want with the house. So I feel like I went through so many different phases with this living room in terms of the couch, or at least the sofa, because I was like, what do I use? For a moment I thought I was going to use the paranormal one, but I just didn't think the swatch really worked. And then I was really like, I think I spent ages looking at the swatches of the High School Years couch, because I put it down and I looked for the swatches, then I would like look at it again, then I looked for the swatches again. So I felt like there's a clip where I'm looking for the swatches of the same couch over and over again. I can't remember if I cut that out. I think I cut some of it out, but I used like the smaller, bit more rounded, like curved couch that came with the High School Years pack, because it came with some nice matching tones, like the orange and blues. So I think it had like, I think I went with a blue with the orange cushion, but I just looked at all the swatches. I was like, what works better? What would I like more? But in the end, I went with like the deeper blue with the orange cushion, and I think it had like a yellow cushion or something. It had another cushion colour on, but I just thought like they worked well together. And I kind of keep the downstairs that kind of tone, to be fair, and then upstairs we go very neutral with upstairs. I think the bedroom becomes like, it just feels very calming and zen. And it was so annoying. I was playtesting this and I was like, oh, this is running great, perfect. And then I get upstairs and this thing couldn't walk, and I wasn't sure if it was clutter, I wasn't sure what was in the way, so I started moving the clutter out of the way. I started deleting things, then I realized it was probably the pendant light because it was hanging a bit low. So I ended up moving the pendant light. I think I moved it to like near over the bed or something like that, and it worked. My Sim could walk past, because I was like, I don't want to get rid of the clutter because it's such a small home. I felt like it needed like little details to make the house look a bit more interesting, because there wasn't going to be a lot of big pieces of furniture just because there's not much space for it. So I felt like I spent a lot of time like looking for ways to like add little details to the house to make it look a bit more interesting. So like plants and clocks. I've been really in a phase where I just want to add clocks on my builds recently. So if you see my builds in the gallery, we're gonna have clocks everywhere because all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, we have clocks. Why don't I use them? Because like I feel like when you're running out of decorations or like decorative things to put into your builds, a clock is a really good thing to have. Especially if you just size up, because I think the normal like wall clocks are kind of small, so I just size them up. Obsessed with the bathroom kit candle. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in every single build. I also use the new speaker in this build as well. I don't think I've used it yet, you know. I've just put it down. This is the first time I put it in the build, but I've not actually used it. And at the moment, I've got a current household that I need to like create a home for, because I really want them to move out, but I can't decide where I want them to live. But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, ooh, if Brendan and Bay didn't rain all the flipping time, I would move there so quickly. But it just rains all the time, so it's just not very aesthetically pleasing. But I'm thinking of potentially moving to San Sequoia because I don't have any like let's plays, or not even let's plays, but I don't have any really like gameplay happening in that world at the moment, so I thought it would be fun to explore a bit more. So yeah, my current household, interesting storyline. My sim had a baby at the age of like being a teen. Well no, she's not aged up yet, she's still a teen, so we got an infant and they're about to age up to a toddler soon. I found the infant stage so stinking cute, so I don't really want them to age to a toddler. But at the same time, we need to move on. So I just thought the infant stage was so adorable. The only problem I'm having is like they don't use the baby carriers, the infant carriers very well. Like they can't move. If they move, they have to take the baby out and put them on the floor. So I don't know if it's necessarily like a glitch or a bug in the game or what, but it just seems like they can't register that they can obviously carry the infant, whilst completing a task. Like you can do both. That's why I want you to have the carrier, so you can do more than one thing. But yeah, we move. So she's still living at home with her mum, and she's living with her boyfriend. So her boyfriend's just moved in to live with her as well, so they can look after the infant together. But because they're at school, they're at high school, they're not really doing much looking after the baby just because they're not really at home that much. So my teen's grades are amazing. So every minute she keeps getting texts to like graduate early, but I'm like, no, I want her to like graduate naturally. I want her to age up and graduate that way. But at the same time, I think I might age them up because I think I've got it on long lifespan. So I think at this point I do need to like age them up so they can keep the story moving, because I really want them to go to university, but I just need to create the world that I want them to live in. I need to create some friends. I need to create some potential like uni students and like work their new home. I don't think they already started with money. Like I already started my Sims with money. Like I wanted them to like be a bit more of a well-off family. So I'm tempted to just give her a house, like say the parents bought the home and she has to just furnish it kind of thing. I might just do like a bit of a shell, so we have like the furnished kitchens and bathrooms, and then they have to like work towards like buying the furniture for the house kind of thing. Or like potentially their parents could buy them a couch or something, I don't know. So I'm thinking maybe I should do it that way, because I feel like I love realism when I'm playing my games, so that makes a little sense. But you would have seen, now you can see that it's in the blue on the top, but it's got like, it tells me I've got the right amount of tiles, because yeah, I don't think I realised when I was building, and then it got to a point where I wanted to add a little porch, and I was like, oh, I've run out of tiles. So then I had to like shrink the house in order to have a little porch. It's not really a porch, it's more just like a little step. So I've done like a little area where you can like walk up, stand on it, and like a little platform where you can stand on it and like get your mail, or use a hose. The hose. So I've got the water hose like at the front of the build. So if it was functional, Sims could use it, but it's not, it's just decorative, so it's there anyway for decoration. And that ended up like when I go to show you the landscape and how I decorate outside, I really struggled. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I think in the end, this was before we got the bathroom slot, so you're gonna see me have to like raise up items and things like that onto the sink. This was before we got the slot update, because I built this a good 2 weeks ago, I think. So yeah, I've built something else. It is a shell, because at the moment I've been struggling to like finish builds. Like I'll do the landscape and then I'll be like, okay, I don't want to do anything else now. So I've been struggling. So I've done a base game shell, so I'm gonna edit that, and then hopefully, I don't know if I'll get that up for this Friday. I might potentially just get it up for next week whilst I get another like gameplay episode out next week as well. I might do 2 videos next week because I'm so excited. This is like the first job I've been in where bank holidays are actually days that can have off, and I'm like paid to be off kind of thing. Every job that I've done, bank holidays weren't really a thing. Like, so what, it's a bank holiday, you're still working. So I'm just so glad that I'm working in a job now where bank holidays count for something, you know. I don't even care what coronation it is or what it is happening. I just want to have a day off. And May apparently has a bunch of bank holidays, or at least I think we have 3 days off in May, something like that. I can't remember, but I know next Monday I'm off, and then I'm also off on the 15th because I'm seeing Ari Lennox. She's coming to London, so I'm gonna go see her with my sister. I'm really excited about that. So I'm off that day as well. So those 2 days give me some time to film a bit more, because like the weekends, it gets to Saturday and I just want to sleep, I just want to chill, or I just want to play The Sims because I don't really get much time after work. I've got to cook lunch and then, you know, get myself ready for the following day, get a good night's sleep. So yeah, it's trying to adjust to this whole new schedule. I mean, it's not even, it's been a while, so I'm pretty like comfortable in my schedule at the moment, but it's just a matter of making sure I'm getting enough sleep, making sure I'm eating, making sure lunch is ready. I think it's all those extra things that make it a bit more difficult, but for the most part, I'm okay. If you can hear me moving, I'm sorry, I'm moving on, and like my mattress makes a sound every time I move on my bed, so apologies for that. But I can't keep still when I film these voiceovers, and I thought I would have a lot more to say but I don't. But I'm pretty sure there's a few more minutes left of this video because I still gotta like paint, do some landscape and things like that. But the bedroom, I played this today, it works. Your sim just has to shuffle, but I kind of felt like, considering the sim that's like working out of the area all the time, maybe not home all the time, so maybe they don't even sleep together that often because they're not there, so it's just one sim. So I mean, we can scoot in the Sims. I believe they fixed it as well, so like it works better, so you actually do have that scooting interaction, where before it was like every other person had that interaction, not everyone had that happen in their game. But yeah, it works. My sim scooted, so that was fun. And then I decorated the balcony, because in that video when I was watching it on YouTube, it has a balcony as well, so I was like, yeah, I want to have a little balcony. So I had a balcony involved and yeah, I'm proud of it. I think it turned out really cute. It's just got some seating out there, like a dining set essentially, and an easel, and I think I put a plant out there as well. And also I put so Growing Together came with the suitcases. I love them. It's just like decorative pieces, but I love the fact that they are functional as well to some degree. So I ended up putting one in the bedroom because I was like, obviously the Sims out of town often, they probably have a suitcase just like packed and ready for the most part. They don't have laundry, but I was probably saying in a house like this, like I was probably thinking to myself, in a house like this, you'd probably have to go to like a laundry service, or you'd have to have your laundry done professionally essentially. So I mean, same thing essentially. But yeah, I always feel like they wouldn't probably do their laundry by hand. I just feel like they're not that kind of Sims. Like they would just go to the laundrette, or they'll just get it done some other way. But yeah, no laundry in this house. And as much as I love laundry, I find an excuse to put laundry in every build if I can. But for this build, nah, there was just no space, and it was fine about it, to be fair. But I felt like the bedroom was so cozy. Like it's modern, but it feels really cozy. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like the tones, like the warm wood tones. I just don't know. I thought it was really cozy. That's my opinion. With the landscaping, I think I kept it pretty simple. I just did some like hedges around the build, and then I think I put a couple of trees out there, some like flowers from Debug. Always use Debug when I'm landscaping because I just don't want it to add to the cost of the build. And I just feel like the building by like the Debug, I was like, what am I talking about? The Debug landscaping really comes in handy sometimes, because you just have a few more options, I think, and obviously it doesn't cost anything, so lovely. And then I ended up finding like the don't walk on grass signs, so I thought that was cute, so I put them down there. Put a car out there, used the Debug fences. What else did I put outside? I ended up finding, which I was really glad, because I know we got it with the wedding, like my wedding stories. They got the umbrellas that you put on your tables, like table umbrellas, but like closed. I've seen people use them from the debug menu from my wedding stories, and I was like, oh, I really wish I had them. I don't ask me why, but I really wish I had them. And then when I looked for the debug for Growing Together, guess what I found? A closed umbrella. I was like, yay. So I just randomly I didn't even put like it next to a table or anything. It's just randomly in the build. It's like, so you might be looking at it and thinking, okay, thanks, I guess. Like, I could have made more sense if I put it on the balcony, but I didn't. I really didn't. I just put it where like the drive is for the car. And I think I put a meditation stool, and I think I put like a planter pot out there as well. Like it was a debug planter pot. I could have probably done like an actual bona fide plant. Now I'm thinking about it, but yeah, that's what I went with. But I'm gonna leave the voice over here because I don't have much to say. You're gonna watch the rest of the build come together with the landscaping. And I have put this up in the gallery, so if you want it, my gallery ID is Saabythesimmer, or you can also search Sul Sul and you can find it there by always leaving the details in the description. Why am I out of breath? If you liked this build, do give it a like. I'd very much appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. And I will see you next week for a new video on this channel, guys. Take care. Bye. bye.